Hello, everybody. I'm going to be talking about solar panels today and the way that they work. First of all, a solar cell. This is what's inside the solar panels. So, a solar panel is those big rectangular, um, black bluish boards that we see on top of roofs. The way it works is that a solar cell is an electronic device that catches sunlight and turns it directly into electricity. It's about the size of our palm, actually, and these are all placed together inside the solar panel, creating one big panel. So inside the big panels, there's a lot of solar cells in there, and this allows for when the sun hits, it heats up and it turns it into electricity, which allows us to use it as another source of electricity. This is what I'm going to be talking about today: the alternate ways of using other kinds of electricity as of today. I'm going to be talking about solar panels. So first, I'm going to be talking about what they are. Secondly, I'm going to be talking about the different ways to obtain solar panels. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about the duration and some of the benefits of having a solar panel. So the way that it works is that the solar cells captures this electricity, and then they're all bundled together to make solar molecules, which are inside the solar panels. This obtains the energy, and it's all wired up into the home, or depending on where you're doing it. There's also a lot of factories that have this, a lot of big companies. For example, Walmart is a big example. They use solar panels to provide electricity in most of their stores. So what ends up happening is that this electricity runs back into the grid, later allowing it to be released. The reason a lot of individuals are switching to solar is because of the cost, which I'm going to get into right now. Secondly, the cost, it all depends on which route you take. There's the option of leasing solar panels, which occurs, what happens is that it's basically a bill swap. So let's say there's an individual paying around $120 a month for Edison. If they switch over to solar, what happens is it's much cheaper because of the kilowatt rate. The way it works is that there's around 4 tiers in the state of California, and the lowest tier starts at around 20 cents, and it's if you're paying around $30 to $40. The more you pay, the higher you go in the tier. So let's say you're paying 120, like we were saying, you'd be in around tier 4 of Edison, and this is around 38 cents to 40. It all depends. It's been changing year to year, maybe 3 cents more, 3 cents less, but it always stays around 30 cents, 35 cents and up. So what ends up happening is that individuals that are locked in this tier, it's basically the more you spend, the more electricity you spend, the more you pay for kilowatt usage. If you switch over to solar, they charge you at a flat rate. So if you go with the lease, most companies are averaging around 15 cents right now a kilowatt. Companies, for example, like Solar City, SunPower, Solar World, all these companies are averaging at around 15 cents to 18 cents a kilowatt, which is much lower than the average. This is why bills are going much lower. If you lease, however, you are not owning the solar panels, so what ends up happening is basically just a bill swap. You don't have to pay the initial fee of the average of the cost if you bought a solar panel is $12,000 and up, so you wouldn't have to be paying anything. You basically just switch over. Some companies do charge for installment though, and that's around $300 to $500. As you switch over, your bill is much lower, and the price of the rental of the solar panels is included in the monthly bill. So let's say you're paying $120 and you decide to switch to a solar company, you can be averaging about $80, and the rental of the panels is included there. So you wouldn't have to be paying anything on top. You would just be paying the $80, and you would no longer be with companies that are charging more for their kilowatt. That is one of the leasing options. The good thing about the lease is that you do get tax rebates and stuff, so it does really help if you cannot afford maybe the 12,000 and up, because it is pretty expensive for some people. So that's why there's a lease option with many companies. And another thing that is very popular is buying the system. If you buy the system, what happens is you own the solar panels from the start, and you can go much lower at kilowatt usage. Instead of 15 cents a kilowatt, like if you leased it, you can go up to 8 cents a kilowatt. So that's really low, and a lot of people are doing that. If they can afford it, it's a great option. Thirdly, I'm going to be talking about the duration. Solar panel lasts about 20 years. It could last more. The only thing that happens is its efficiency goes down. So they do have to be replaced after a couple of years. So we covered a lot about solar panels. I hope everybody is more informed now. Thank you for your time. Have a good one.